Alright guys, welcome to the next video for personal finance and work studies. Today we are still talking about managing an income, but we're talking about managing a bank account in particular. So the points we're going to touch on today are the electronic check and cash deposits, debit and credit cards, internet banking, how to maximize interest on savings, maximizing account security, and minimizing fees and charges. Alright, so the first part we're talking about is electronic check and cash deposits. So basically this is any way that you can get money into an account. Okay, so electronic deposits. So generally used internet banking. I'm sure everyone's got an internet banking app on their phone. So just generally the information needed. So you need an account name, the BSB, the account number, and the amount. And then it's all fairly straightforward to deposit money through to somebody else or to deposit money into a different account on yours. Then we've got a check. So there's an example of a check down the bottom here. Good circling job. Again, need fairly similar information. It's just a safer way of doing it rather than the last example there, which is a cash deposit. Okay, so with the check, it can only be deposited into the account that you stipulate on the check. Okay, so that way if you're handing it over to somebody, you know it's going to go into the right account. The next part, we have debit and credit cards. So I know we've touched on this previously, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. So the first one, a debit card. So it's just like a key card. It allows you to purchase items using money directly from your account. So really handy when you want to buy anything online. So it works the same sort of way as a credit card in that instance, but it's just money that you already have. And as we already know, a credit card is when you have a certain limit that the bank gives you, and you can spend up to that amount, but then you need to pay it back. And generally, there will be high interest rates. So say if you spend $5,000 on your credit card limit, you're going to have to pay back more than $5,000 by the end of the payments. Internet banking. So there's just a few examples there. These are all the websites that you can log on to depending on which bank you're with. So generally you'll need a client number and a password, and then once you've signed on to that, then you'll need a PIN number, just the same as you would with an EFTPOS card, just as a better way of accessing the account. So a few other things that you can do with internet banking. So it's a really easy way to manage all your different accounts. So if you've got 2 or 3 accounts and there's money going in and out of each, it makes it a lot easier to keep track of where all your money is. Again, transferring money between accounts, so we'll talk about it in a couple of videos time with your savings. So you can take money out of your pay when it comes in and distribute it to wherever it needs to be. BPay, so it's a really good way of paying bills. Generally now when you get a bill, at the bottom there will be a BPay section. It'll have a certain number which will link up to the person who you're paying. So for example, when you pay your phone bill, Optus will give you a certain number. It'll link directly to your account, and that way they know that you're paying the phone bill. Check transactions. So this is a really good one. If you're worried about things like people stealing money from your account, whether they're skimming from your card, you can go back through and you can check what transactions have come out of your account. Or if you're not sure if a certain payment that might be a direct debit, if it's come out or not, just another way of checking it. The cardless cash, I think you've all would have seen the ads by now where if you haven't got your card, there's still ways for you to get cash out at certain ATMs with certain banks. The cancel cards can be really good feature. So if you lose your card, instead of having to go into the bank to do it, you can log on to the app. And straight away you can go through and cancel the card. Generally you'll find when you go into a bank nowadays, they will show you a way of doing most of the things that you wanted to do on the app. Okay. Next one. Alright, so next we've got maximizing interest on savings and minimizing fees and charges. So much like the credit cards, different saving accounts can have different interest rates. So the only difference being that instead of you having to pay extra money, they're paying you interest to have your money in these accounts. Okay. Just be careful though, as a student, you shouldn't have to pay account fees, but the bank will still charge you unless they know that you're a student. So while you're at high school, it might not be too bad, but make sure once you go to uni, you stay on top of that because they will start charging you account fees. And sometimes it can depend on how much money you deposit each month or how much you take out. Some accounts will charge you to take money out. And then we've got ATM fees, which you all know. If you go to an ATM, which isn't your provider or your bank, you're going to be charged anywhere from $2 to $3 each time. And after a while, that does start to add up. The last point on there, shopping around. So for every bank out there, they're going to have plenty of different types of accounts. Okay, so it does pay to do a little bit of research. Try to find what account will offer the best interest rate for you, whether that be a different bank or not. Just different ways of, what I'm trying to say, different ways of minimizing the fees that you've got to pay and getting the best interest rate for you, so you get the best return on your investment in the bank. And the last one is maximizing your account security. So we've focused on a fair bit of the internet banking here. So like all online things that require a password, make sure you're consistently changing your online banking password. Okay, it just makes it harder for people to hack into if it's constantly changing. Don't give your password to anyone, no matter how much you trust them. It's not worth it. When you're at the ATM, make sure you're covering the keypad so people can't see what your PIN number is. Try not to give your card to anybody, especially now with PayWave. It's a lot easier to have money taken out of your account without you even knowing. And yeah, always log out of your online banking if you're not using it. And as I said before, if you lose a card, it's really simple now to cancel it. It doesn't take too long and it can save you a world of pain. All right, that's all. Thanks, guys.